Good morning, everybody. It's Richard and Paul. You don't need to bend down, Paul. The camera is capturing you quite well. No bending. Stop. We woke up at God knows what time this morning.
You woke up at 3 o'clock.
I woke up at 3. You woke up at 4. We had tea. It's like the Golden Girls in our house without the cheesecake.
Or ice cream.
Oh, I tell you, so I'm not appearing in front of the camera today. This is Paul's day. I'm behind the camera because I've got deep creases all over my face. Crumpled is the word. Anyway, so we're here and we're in the kitchen. It's a lovely morning. The sun is coming through. It's beautiful. And we are making the talked about pumpkin and feta filo pie. It's a pie, that's right. God knows how it's going to go because we're both tired. So it could be. Yeah, all right, Snow White. God. So, yeah, it's pie time. Paul's going to show you the ingredients and we're going to put it together. Well, he's going to put it together. I'm going to have a lie down. So Paul, please tell our YouTube viewers what the ingredients are.
So we're going to be using one of our uchiki curry pumpkins. We're going to use about 800 grams of grated pumpkin, which we are going to add some salt to and let that steep for an hour, and then we're going to take all of the juice out and squeeze all the juice out.
That's grated. You're going to grate it.
Yeah.
And this pie, just to say now, is enough to, it's going to be made on a plate.
Yeah.
So it's a dinner plate size. That's it.
There we are.
A Denby dinner plate. That's the size, and it's going to be well filled as well. We're not, stingy with the filling on this. So
no. So we're going to
use
grated. Add salt. Let it steep for an hour. Squeeze all the juice out, and then put it into a clean tea towel and wring all the juice out so that it's as dry as it possibly could be. So whilst that is steeping in the salt, we're going to fry the red onion, 4 cloves of garlic in a tablespoon of olive oil. And we're going to soften that down. We don't want it to colour, we're just going to soften it down. And then we're going to let it cool. Then after that, we're going to add the strained and squeezed out grated pumpkin. We're going to add mint. This is our own dried mint.
It's just a small amount of mint though, isn't it?
It's about half a tablespoon of mint.
You don't want it to overpower the dish, that's the thing.
No, and it didn't last weekend, did it?
No, was that the same amount?
It was.
Well, don't use too much.
So pepper, and then obviously there's salt will still be in the pumpkin even though we've squeezed it out, but we'll give it a taste. Then we're going to add the eggs to that and give it a mix.
That's 2 eggs.
2 eggs. And then we're going to add the feta crumbled into that mix. And then we're going to put filo pastry, 4 sheets over here, and then fold it up.
Great.
6 sheets. 6 sheets over here and fold it up.
And this is shop-bought filo pastry. Yeah. We're cheating because nobody makes filo pastry themselves, really. If you do, it's a waste of time. Buy it. It's quicker, it's easier. Might not be fully vegan or vegetarian.
Well, it's vegetarian.
It's vegetarian, but it's not vegan, so just be aware of that.
No, it is vegan.
Oh, it is vegan?
It is vegan.
What is the fat in it then?
There is no fat in it.
There's no fat in it? Really? I thought filo... Oh, I'm thinking of flaky pastry, aren't I?
Flaky pastry is
where you use lard and butter.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are the ingredients. Paul's going to prep those ingredients now, and
then we'll come back when we're assembling it. So we'll have the cold mixture.
Well, we're going to show the prepared ingredients before they go in.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
We're going to show you the stages of it, don't worry. Paul said he was fully awake this morning. Clearly not. So you've got a bowl of pumpkin, grated pumpkin there, Paul, and that's got salt in it, and it's being stirred through thoroughly, and we're going to leave it there for the liquid to come out.
Yeah, but we're going to stir it every 10 minutes.
Yeah, and it's about an hour in total, isn't it? Yeah, okay. So you've got your onion.
Red onion. You could use white onion, but we're using red onion. 4 cloves of garlic, which have been sliced.
Yeah.
And then this is the dried mint leaves, which will crumble in to this mixture, to the onion mixture, once it's softened down.
And that's going to go into a pan.
Onion and garlic go into a pan with a tablespoon of olive oil on a low heat. Cook for a good half an hour to soften down. We don't want it to colour at all, just to soften down. If you need to add a little bit of teaspoon or 2 of water during the process, do. And then once that is cooked, when the onion's cooked, the mint is going to be crumbled in, and then that whole mixture will be allowed to cool.
So what we'll do is we'll come back in an hour, we'll have a look at those onions when they're cooked, and we'll also look at the amount of liquid that's come out of the pumpkin.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so it's been just over an hour, and Paul is going to get rid of the excess liquid from the pumpkin. Now, Paul tells me that it's important to note that a younger pumpkin...
The more mature a pumpkin, the less water will come out of it.
Okay.
So if you're doing this with an unmature pumpkin, you get a lot more water out of it.
Immature, surely.
Immature, yeah.
Yeah.
Unmatured.
Immature.
Yeah.
Young.
Yeah.
A young pumpkin. So the way that Paul is going to do this is we've got a clean tea towel, the cleanest of tea towels ever. Probably the only one in the drawer, I would imagine, because you know what tea towels are like. Place it over another bowl and then pop the shredded pumpkin into the bowl.
Squeezing.
And giving it a squeeze as you go along. Obviously clean hands and all of that. Good squeeze. Pop it in the bowl. Fun to do.
With all the family.
Yes. Get the children involved. They'd love this.
Oh look.
And
squishing everywhere.
Yeah, okay, Paul, don't squish it all over the kitchen. God.
I'll be cleaning it.
Yeah, well. So squeezing as hard as you can, being careful not to pull a muscle or put a shoulder out.
So there's quite a lot
Yeah.
coming out, but not as... And also, obviously it depends what type of pumpkin, because if you use a carving pumpkin, which are mainly really for carving rather than culinary use, then a lot more water will come out because they're a lot less
well,
solid.
surely if it isn't used for culinary use,
yeah, but you
wouldn't.
Yeah, but if you're going to cut up a pumpkin,
Were you talking about the excess that you take out?
yeah, I mean you should use it. You shouldn't
So there's
throw it away.
quite a lot of juice there, so that can be saved and frozen and used as towards a vegetable stock.
Yep.
So
Remembering that, so I'm just washing the hands.
yeah, hold on a second, hold that thought.
Remembering that you put salt into that, so that liquid is going to have salt.
Will be salty, so whatever you use it for, don't add salt.
Don't add further
So
salt.
we're using the cloth to squeeze out any excess liquid. Look at all of that coming out, marvellous. Absolutely wonderful. And it's such a beautiful bright orange colour as well. And Paul's really going for it, but obviously, if you're not that strong and, take out what you can.
Okay, so that's it, and you can see the same amount has come out again.
Look at that, lovely. We've got all the juice out. It's beautiful. So we're saving the juice. to go towards a stock, and that's all going to be frozen in a freezer bag probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. So these are the red onions, garlic, dried mint that has been just put in there.
And there's also some black pepper in there.
And black pepper that has sweated down, and then we're adding the pumpkin to that mixture. Lovely. Oh, it looks like a pumpkin all of its own now. So that's going to be stirred through, broken up and stirred through. And the reason we take out the moisture is you don't want that to leach out into the pastry when it's cooking in the oven.
Okay, so you really want that
It's got to be
it's right,
properly blended through.
And this, I mean, if you don't...
The smell is divine, by the way.
The smell is lovely, which is obviously the mint.
And the onions and the garlic I can smell. It's divine.
Obviously, if you're doing this with a white onion, you wouldn't see the little bits of red onion because you wouldn't be able to see them. Now, at this point, you can also put in about 100 grams of pine nuts if you want, but we're not doing that.
And just to say, this is actually an authentic Greek recipe from a Greek colleague, Sophia. So thank you, Sophia, for sharing this recipe, because believe you me, it is a winner. Okay.
It's kolikopitha.
Yes, but there are variations, aren't there?
There are, but this is one. This is the one. If you have spinach or other things in it, it changes the name slightly.
Yeah. So Paul's cutting up the feta, and he's going to crumble it in, aren't you? So he's slicing it first, and then he's just going to crumble it in with his hands. It's the quickest way of doing it, and also gets a nice crumbly texture, which is, you know, more random than cubing it. So it it distributes a bit more evenly. It doesn't matter whether it's, you know, sort of random sizes. It's all good. And notice we're using our new plate from Ronna at Island Kitchen Garden.
Yeah.
Lovely.
And just like my hands, it has been washed.
Yeah, lovely.
I'm just going to wash my hands again now. Otherwise they'll be sticky.
And a good stir through. Distribute all that feta.
If you think some of the bits are a bit big, just break them up.
I wouldn't worry about it.
No, I'm not worrying too much. But if you feel some are. Okay, I think that's pretty well combined.
Okay.
And now we're going to crack. Oh, I don't have a thing. I'll crack it on the plate.
Two eggs. That wasn't shell, was it?
No.
Good, because I don't want the crunch of a bit of shell.
Crunchy shell.
Ugh, disgusting.
Okay, so break up the yolk.
And this mixture, just so you understand, has actually kind of cooled.
Yeah.
The onions and the garlic was sort of sitting off the heat for
So
a good half an hour.
Yeah, they were cooked for about half an hour very slowly and then came off the heat with the lid slightly off so that they could cool right down.
Yeah, so the egg's not going to suddenly turn into scrambled egg, which is something you have to watch if you're adding cold egg to warm ingredients. Okay.
So that's the mixing. Now we're going to assemble it.
Okay, so Paul's going to just tidy around and wash his hands, and we're going to assemble it and show you how it's put together. So Paul's got the filo sheets, and you need a little bit of space to do this, so he's doing it on top of the cooker, which is clean. So he's laid one sheet down like that, another sheet across.
Okay. And then just a bit of oil.
A little bit of oil. What's the oil for?
Just to get the filo sticking to itself.
Okay.
Because it's very dry.
Okay. A little brushing of oil. Just sort of around where the rim of the plate is. And this is the final sheet, yeah?
Final sheet.
Which is a little bit holy, but that's okay. And there we go, final sheet on.
Okay. And just push that down because you want it in your plate.
Yeah, so you're pushing it down slightly. Let me just recenter this so we can see properly. Good.
And then we're going to get our mixture.
Get the filling. And you're going to plonk that in. Obviously being relatively careful.
Yeah, I'm sort of the other side, aren't I?
You're giving it a gentle press down.
Yeah. You want to sort of shape it, and use my hand because it's easier.
I mean, it looks like a huge amount of mixture, Paul. Is there slightly too much there?
No.
No? Okay. It's going to be a very generously filled pie. Let's hope it doesn't all leap out of the pie in the cooking process.
Okay.
Okay, so you're going to, I assume, fold back those layers on top.
Yeah.
So here we go, folding the layers.
So
obviously the one that you did last goes up first. And they just roughly fold.
Tuck the
edges in.
The edges in. If you've got a bit of.
Oh, don't worry about little bits that have.
And then a little bit of oil.
Okay.
And then your other
layer, your next layer on.
And don't worry about it being. You don't want it neat. You want it filo-like.
Wants to be lovely and sort of.
And also don't compress it when you're doing it.
Okay.
You want a bit.
You don't want it to explode.
No. Which one? That one.
And the oil, I guess, will stop it sort of unfolding during the cooking. That would be fun.
Okay, so the
final layer.
Sort of try and tuck your
sort of gather
these
it up.
Edges in a bit first, and then pull that over.
I think your round the back there could do with a little tuck in, Paul.
Yeah.
Okay, a little drop of oil on top. We're using a sort of silicone brush, aren't we there?
Yeah.
Okay, lovely.
And then that goes into an oven.
Preheated oven.
Preheated oven, 180.
180?
180 for 10 minutes, and then take it down to 160 for another half an hour.
So 180 fan, 180 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes, and then take the temperature down to 160 for a remaining half an hour.
Yeah.
So we're going to cook it and show you the results. So here we go. It's had the full cooking time, and here is the finished article. Golden brown, gorgeousness, pumpkin and feta filo pie. Nice and crisp and beautifully cooked. and no explosions or leakages. It's
No.
pretty much perfectly done, isn't it, Paul?
What we did last week, didn't we? We cooked it and then we took it to Wales and it reheated well.
Yeah, and when we reheated it, we didn't put it on a high oven. We put it on about 140, I think. And we put it on for about, I don't know, it was about
45 minutes.
Half an hour to 40 minutes or something.
Yeah, because we were waiting, weren't we, for the others to arrive.
And, you know, it just heated through gently. You don't want to blast this if you're reheating it.
No.
Because
no.
otherwise you'll burn the pastry.
And the middle won't be hot.
You know, so it's a gentle reheat, but it's perfectly possible to do on a gentle heat, 140, and it will reheat beautifully. But it's now hot, and I think we're going to eat a slice for our lunch.
We are, yeah.
But before...
just to say, you can also cook it like this and then have it cold as well.
Oh yeah, it would be absolutely delicious cold. But before we do, we just want to talk a little bit about the seeds, because here we've got the seeds from the pumpkin. Now, we're going to dry those, aren't we, Paul, for a little while?
What we're going to do is dry these for a day so that they are dry. We'll put them onto a plate and spread them out and dry them for a day. And then we're going to roast them tomorrow. When we have something else in the oven, we will roast them at about 180 with a little bit of olive oil or oil and salt and pepper, or you could put some cumin with it, or you could put some chilli with it.
You're going to use those spices like you did last time, surely, Paul, because they
were
delicious.
Like I did last time then.
And this is a delicious, I mean, I can't, you know, stress enough. It's a delicious snack. Roasted pumpkin seeds with spices is just out of this world. So don't throw your seeds away. Are you going to save any for growing?
No, because these have already crossed once.
Okay.
So these are the result of a cross-pollination between Crown Prince and Uchiki curry. So they may have pollinated with something else.
Sure. But they're going to be a delicious snack.
Absolutely.
And we'll show you how we do those tomorrow.
Yeah, but these have been washed with all of most of the pumpkin. There's just little bits of pumpkin at the top, which when they're dry you can just rub off with your hands.
Well, it doesn't matter, does it?
No, not particularly.
Really?
Especially considering that they'll be eaten pretty quick.
Yeah, believe you me, they go down well. So we're just going to...
we're going to let that rest for about 10-15 minutes.
Before we have a slice for lunch.
For lunch, with some tomatoes, I think.
Okay, Paul, so you're going to cut us a slice for lunch.
Wrong, cut 2 slices.
A slice each for lunch then. Oh yeah, I can see the hot steam coming off it.
I think the knife we had last week was better.
Yeah, well. Yum. Let me just show you that. There we go, you can see it, it looks absolutely divine. A nice solid centre. The smell, that's lovely. Can't wait to eat that. So we're in the dining room and we're eating the pumpkin pie. So here we go. It's lovely. It's got there's a slight sweetness to the pumpkin,
But there's the saltiness of the feta.
I've just got a hint of mint, the saltiness of the feta, the crisp of the filo. This is a great lunch or a dinner. It's fabulous.
It's a great Christmas lunch.
Yeah, or Halloween, or a Halloween, you know, savoury.
And the fact that you can make it and then reheat it or have it cold is great.
You're going to love it. When you get that feta, it's divine, and it's light as well. It's not heavy at all. With filo, it's got a lovely lightness to it. If you do try it, let us know.
It's not complex. It's two
you've seen it.
stages. Yeah, it's
You've
three
seen it.
stages,
It's
but not
easy to do.
complex.
Buy the pastry, you know, and do it, and let us know how you got on. I promise you it's delicious. It really is. So thanks very much for watching. Enjoy the remainder of the weekend, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.